The transport shuttle had gone down hard on Kaivara 7, a jungle moon where every shadow held teeth and every vine could strangle. Rhett Calder had survived the crash, but survival meant little when the local fauna considered humans a delicacy. He'd been stumbling through the crimson undergrowth for 2 days when the pack found him 6-legged reptilian hunters with mandibles that could crush bone. Rhett had nowhere to run. His emergency beacon was broken, his sidearm empty, and his engineering kit wouldn't stop a determined predator. Then she appeared. Sira was barely larger than a wolfhound, her silver-striped fur still showing the awkward proportions of youth. Her species, the Vraken, were apex predators across 3 star systems. Intelligent, lethal, and notoriously territorial. Adult Vraken stood 8 feet tall and were respected even by the Galactic Council's warriors. This one was a cub, separated from her pack, and she positioned herself between Rhett and the hunting reptiles. Rhett didn't understand why. Vraken didn't protect prey. They certainly didn't protect humans. The fight was brutal and brief. Sira moved like liquid lightning, her retractable claws each as long as a combat knife flashing in the alien sunlight. She killed 3 of the hunters before the others retreated. But the victory came at a cost. When Rhett approached her afterward, he saw the damage. Her right forepaw was mangled. 3 of her 4 primary claws torn completely from their sheaths in the desperate combat. Her left forepaw had lost 2 more. Without those claws, a Vraken was defenseless, unable to hunt, unable to climb, unable to survive. She had crippled herself to save him. Sira collapsed, her breathing labored, her amber eyes watching him with an intensity that transcended language. She didn't growl or snap when he knelt beside her. Instead, she made a low, questioning sound, almost plaintive. Rhett was an engineer, not a medic, but he understood tools and function. He examined her injuries with gentle hands, while she remained eerily still. The claw sheaths were intact, but the keratin claws themselves were gone, leaving only bleeding quick and shattered bone fragments. "I can't grow them back," Rhett said softly, knowing she couldn't understand his words but hoping she'd understand his tone. "But maybe I can make you something better." His engineering kit had survived the crash. It wasn't much a portable fabricator. Some raw materials, diagnostic tools, but Rhett Calder had built functional engines from scrap metal and prayer. He could work with this. For 3 days, Sira stayed near him while he worked, occasionally limping away to drink from nearby streams but always returning. She watched his every movement with those intelligent eyes. Sometimes, she would make soft chirping sounds, and Rhett found himself talking to her, explaining his process even though she couldn't understand. "The problem is weight distribution," he said, carefully measuring her remaining claw sheaths with a digital caliper. "Too heavy, and you won't be able to fight. Too light, and they'll break on first impact, and they need to retract, just like your natural ones." He fabricated the claws from durasteel alloy, a material used in starship hulls, lightweight but incredibly strong. Each claw took hours to forge, shape, and polish. The retraction mechanism was the hardest part. He salvaged micro-servos from the shuttle's flight controls, programming them to respond to the same muscle contractions that would have extended her natural claws. The real challenge was attachment. He couldn't simply glue metal to bone. Using medical nanites from the emergency kit, he created bio-integration points that would fuse the prosthetics to her existing claw sheaths. It would hurt, but it would hold. On the 4th day, he was ready. Sira lay still as Rhett carefully attached the first prosthetic, the nanites working their microscopic magic to bond metal to living tissue. She trembled but didn't pull away. When all 5 were attached, Rhett sat back, exhausted. "Try them," he whispered. Sira stood slowly, favoring her new claws. She took a tentative step, then another. Her muscles flexed, and with a soft whisper of mechanism, the metal claws extended longer than her originals, gleaming like polished silver in the dappled light. She slashed at a nearby tree trunk. The claws cut through the wood like a plasma torch through butter, leaving deep grooves in the alien bark. Sira made a sound something between a purr and a growl that Rhett chose to interpret as approval. That night, A second pack of hunters attacked their camp. Rhett had set up a small perimeter with the shuttle's remaining power cells, but the predators were numerous and determined. He grabbed a piece of metal debris, preparing for a last stand, when Sira launched herself into the fray. She was magnificent. The metal claws were faster than organic keratin, never dulling, never breaking. They caught the firelight like dancing blades as Sira tore through the pack with renewed ferocity. The hunters scattered, unwilling to face this strange silver-clawed demon. When dawn came, a Vrakan patrol found them, Sira's family pack, searching for their lost cub. The adults approached cautiously, their own natural claws extended, until they saw Sira's prosthetics. The pack leader, a massive male with scars across his muzzle, approached Rhett. For a long moment, Predator and Engineer stared at each other. Then the Vrakan lowered his head, a gesture of respect Rhett had only read about in xenology texts. 3 weeks later, Rhett stood in the Galactic Council's embassy on Station Meridian. Beside him sat Sira, now formally recognized as his bonded companion, an honor the Vrakan granted to only the most worthy allies. "You gave her a gift," the Vrakan ambassador said, his translated voice rumbling through the chamber. "In our culture, claws are identity, purpose. You returned what she sacrificed. The Vrakan do not forget such debts." Rhett looked down at Sira, who looked back with those knowing amber eyes. Her metal claws gleamed under the station's lights. "She saved me first," Rhett said simply. "I just evened the score. I just evened the score." But as he left the embassy with Sira walking beside him, matching his stride perfectly, Rhett knew it was more than that. She had given him everything to protect him. He had given her the tools to reclaim herself, and in doing so, both had found something. Neither had been looking for a bond, forged not in debt or obligation, but in mutual sacrifice and respect. The kind of bond that transcended species, the kind that made humanity, and their allies, unstoppable.